Hey everyone, good morning. Welcome to the Teach Better Today morning show, where the Teach Better team gets to join you live every single morning, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. Eastern. My name is Rhea Hewert, and I am very, very excited to be here with all of you, not only because we are still in Teacher Appreciation Week, so there's a lot to appreciate, but also because we have Candace Miller with us, and I think she is the most OG of Teach Better family members. I'm so excited to not only have this conversation with her, but also give you access to this conversation as well here on Teach Better Today morning show. So go grab your coffee and let's get into it. Hey everyone, I'm so excited that you're tuning in to Teach Better Today morning show as we currently stream on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. Also has an episode of Teach Better Talk podcast. We have Candace Miller here with us. Candace, how you feeling this morning?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic, and good morning, everybody. It's so nice to be here with Ray.
Oh,
And
so
hopefully you guys are enjoying your morning.
Yes, we want you all to have an amazing morning. And I know it will be an amazing morning, friends, because you're starting it with Candace. She is so wonderful. She's an amazing educator. She's very involved in the Teach Better family. And so trust me, this is going to be like sitting on the couch, catching up with an old friend. Definitely somebody you're going to want to add to your PLN. Candace, I appreciate you taking the time to be here so bright and early.
Yes. Thank you for having me.
It'll be so great. For those of you who have not connected with Candace, this is definitely going to be a wonderful person to add to your PLN. But Candace, if they don't know too much about you, will you tell us a little bit about what you do in education, your role? Kind of give us the bio.
Okay, well, I am a high school chemistry teacher, and I am currently in Columbus City Schools. And I have been teaching. We're not going to talk about how long I've been teaching, but but I'm enjoying every day and every second and where I'm at. And I started out not in a public school. I started out in a private school, so I'm enjoying the public school sector right now, and that little shift, yeah. And it's just been it's been a great year, and it's been hopefully for you guys a great start to your morning.
Yes, absolutely. Candace, you have been a person that whether it's virtually or like in person, I feel like I've been connected with for quite some time. For whatever reason, I don't really remember a time in Teach Better when you weren't around, which I don't know if that's being a little dramatic or you really have been around that long. Tell me a little bit about how you got connected to the team. Like, where in the world did you come from? How are you such an OG with this crew?
I believe it started with I started using the grid method quite some time ago, and I reached out to Chad. And when I first started, it wasn't called the Teach Better team. We were the grid method on Facebook. So it's been a minute. And I just kind of jumped in both feet and started doing a lot of research and went and joined the Facebook page because he told me about the Facebook page, and just started connecting with you and with other people that were on the Facebook page. And it's just been a good help in guiding my pathway with using grids. And we talked a little about standards-based grading way back when. So I believe you and I first started talking when you did that summer where you did PDs, like I don't even know how long ago. Yeah,
I did a million of them in like one summer for some reason for the team. Yes, absolutely. But I had known your name. Like, there was no doubt if somebody prior to that summer when we probably got to connect a little bit more personally, I knew who Candace Miller was. You were so active in our Facebook group. You were so supportive. And friends, like she mentioned, the Teach Better team used to be called the grid method. And then that got confusing because the mastery learning framework that we train on, which is called the grid method, is different than the community we have here. Some people, choose to love the community and choose to be a mastery learning, expert and all that stuff. But we ended up doing a rebrand of the team. I want to say it was 2018 when we did that shift. So you've at least been around since like 2017, which is about the year that I joined too. So I don't think there really was ever a time without Candace Miller.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's so fun. And I want to highlight again, you said you're a high school science teacher
Right.
using the grid method. So those of you who have heard the grid method work in an elementary school or a middle school, this is a prime example right here of an educator using it at that secondary level, which is a great spot. And as many of you know, Chad Ostrowski himself, the creator of the grid method, created it in a middle school science classroom. So I'm sure you got a lot of support from Chad during that time when you were learning to be an expert.
Yes, I did. He was very helpful and has been, because even though I started using this way a long time ago, they keep changing on me. I keep changing them, and I just can't keep them the same. And you guys have been really helpful with being able to reach out and ask questions, and the Facebook page has been really helpful with throwing questions out too. And I think it was 2020 where you guys offered your first group to come in as ambassadors, and that's been an amazing opportunity to be a founding ambassador for the Teach Better team. So
Gosh,
yeah.
so good. I know that founding ambassador application was supposed to open the week that COVID exploded. So we like postponed it because we're like, what's going on with the world? How did this big thing, we prepared for like a year to open this ambassador application, and then we paused it. And then, yeah, it opened that summer and we welcomed our founding ambassadors. I'm so glad you were part of that crew. Still an ambassador, still a leader, still a mentor in our Teach Better family. And again, it's only one of the things that you've been able to support and share your voice in within our Teach Better family, not only with educators on social media posting about problems they're having in their classroom, but, being able to blog and be an ambassador. And now you're, on a podcast within our, Teach Better podcast network. It's just such a great opportunity to highlight your expertise and have you share, while also hopefully being able to learn something by those around you.
Yeah, definitely learning and just collaborating and relying on other ambassadors or people in the Facebook, the actual Facebook family. I'm sorry, my brain is gone. The group there, it's amazing the support that we get from all aspects, and just that help. And if you have a question, to throw it out there, and it's I feel at home. So
good. For those of you interested in being a part of the Facebook group that we keep chatting about, back in the day, it had 5 people in it, 10 people in it. Now it's like 8,000 strong. And I know I'm being dramatic, but I'm not. I literally think there's 8,000 plus educators in this group. So please go join that. That's over at teachbettergroup.com. And Candace, I'm so glad that you're able to contribute so much with the work that you're doing in education, because we're all better when we share. We're all better when we meet somebody who can teach us something. And I just know that you've always kind of been on a pedestal in my mind, because you're an educator that from the get-go of joining this community has just given others so much support. And it's such a blessing. So I really, really appreciate that about you. We're going to jump into our team talk segment and dig into a little bit more of your educator brain. So we will be right back. Hey everyone, thanks for sticking with us here on Teach Better Today morning show. If you have not done so already, please make sure to give us a rating and review, or share out that you're watching the show on social media. We would love to hear from you, not only on what you enjoy about the show, but also in sharing your appreciation for this community so that other educators like you can get support and learn from this incredible community. Candace, you have done so many things. We could dive into 100 different topics. And we were even joking before the show started. You're like, Ray, what are we going to talk about? I'm like, I don't know, whatever comes to mind, whatever we're passionate about in our dialogue. So tell me a little bit, Candace. It's the second week of May. It's Teacher Appreciation Week. Obviously, many communities, as well as our own, have been celebrating teachers and giving out freebies and enjoying all this stuff. But we're also at the end of the year, so people are thinking about like, how am I closing the year strong? What's my plan? If you were to give educators a piece of advice about ending the year strong, something that they can keep in the back of their minds as they head into the day ahead or weeks ahead, what kind of comes to mind initially?
Ooh, that's a
Tough
good
one.
question. That is a tough one. In my mind, I just like to end my year. I like to tell myself, okay, it is the end of the year, but I'm letting my family go. So it's really tough. So I try to focus on just really keeping those relationships going and letting my students know that, yes, I'm your teacher this year, but once your teacher, always your teacher. So in the classroom, I tell my kids, we're not done until the last minute. So we keep going as per usual. And I try to build in some maybe more fun activities for them to do and just try to keep it, especially with the group of students that I work with. It may not be a positive thing that school is ending for them because they won't have the school for the summer. So I try to give them a lot of different, just a lot of different things that they can reach out to during the summer if they're struggling or whatever. So I know the start of the year is important, but I feel like the end of the year is also important to kind of, I don't know, it's hard to say goodbye, but it's not saying goodbye. I know that, but I guess I just try to, I'm fumbling on my words here, but I try to make it as fun as possible for them, but also try to pack it full of different information and stuff, that resources that they can use throughout the summer if they need it. So
I like that reminder. Don't just end the year to get it over with, end the year with intention. I love the follow-up resources, things that they can refer to later, and especially the reminder that you are always their teacher, regardless if they go to another class or whatever else in their future, whether you see them again or not, always their teacher. Candace, the other thing you highlighted early on in the show that I at least want to make sure we touch on, even though we're running out of time, is you noted that you had been using the grid method since, let's just pretend 2017. Let's just pretend you've been using the grid method since 2017. And you're like, but it keeps changing. I keep doing different things. I keep trying different things. I don't think that we highlight that enough as educators, especially with the grid method, because so many of us in this community who have used the mastery learning framework kind of think like, oh, when my grid's done, I'll never have to do it again. I can just use it again next year. And to some extent, that can be true, but we're constantly tweaking, whether it be the content or the classroom management or anything else. Tell me a little bit about, if you had to go back in time, back to 2017, could you identify like 2 or 3 things that have changed from your classroom now in 2024?
Wow. That's a loaded question because you said we're low on time, but so much has changed. And not just because it's been years, but we went through that pandemic and it wasn't just a year. We went through that time and that changed a lot too.
Was there
But
was there a pandemic? I don't remember it. Did that happen? I feel like when I said like 2017 to 2024, I'm like, yeah, so like 3 years. Like everything else.
no, but it feels like it's been shorter than 3 years and in some respect a lot longer than 3 years.
Yeah,
But
it's like somewhere between like 2 and 25 years.
yeah. And in some of the years felt like they were more than 1 year. But yeah, I don't, when you ask me what has changed, or it, a lot has. And I'm a person who, yeah, I've been teaching. We won't talk about what year I started teaching in, But I'm not the kind of teacher that uses the same thing over and over again from year to year. I'm changing things constantly. And I think with my grids, I've gone from doing them how they were laid out for us to use. I've tried in science, we have a 5E. I've tried implementing the 5Es into it. I've had a grid where we've done a project-based grid. So they're always changing. And not only that, but I've changed subjects. I was teaching biology and now I'm teaching chemistry. So I feel like it keeps me young and not, I don't burn out easily. So you have to change them.
That's so good. I appreciate that reminder. I did the grid method for, I don't know, whatever many years before I transitioned into instructing full time for educators to use strong instructional strategies that of course include the grid method. And every single year, I was great to start with a base if I had a grid from a year prior, but gosh, I was smarter. Like every year you're as an educator, you're smarter. You know a better classroom, management technique, or you know a better way to present the information so there's not as many potholes for students to fall into. And I think it's wonderful that you're able to highlight the fact that every year the grade would come up and you'd say, okay, how can I adjust this to make it better because of my knowledge base of myself, but also because of my knowledge base of the students, which is so wonderful. So Candace, I'm so glad you're able to join the conversation this morning. And I really want to make sure our community can stay connected to you. So how can they stay connected?
Well, Facebook is like my main thing that I use, but I do have on my,
yes, right there where your name is, whatever that is, the banner, what is it called?
It's my Instagram there, but I hop on Instagram and I view it daily. But I'm not a big, huge poster on Instagram. But I think the main thing would be Facebook.
Awesome. Yes. Go connect with Candace on Facebook. Go join our group and engage with her content as well as other educator content at teachbettergroup.com. And of course, if you're looking for anything else, there's tons of resources at teachbetter.com, including blogs, podcasts, downloads, and everything in between. So Candace, thank you so much for this conversation. I so appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate spending time with you. So.
Yeah, so fun. It was easy. All right, friends, the next time we see you, I hope will be at tomorrow's Teach Better Today morning show, unless you're joining the Edupreneur group tonight, or maybe there's an ambassador event going on. Who knows? There's always someone doing something here in our Teach Better family, and we appreciate you. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you on the 10th. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Hey, Teach Better community. Thank you so much for joining the Teach Better Today morning show every single weekday at 7 a.m. Eastern. We have so many resources for you outside of this live stream at teachbetter.com, including blogs, podcasts, and professional development that will bring our team to your school. Wherever you are listening from this morning, please make sure you are sharing and celebrating the incredible educators in this world. And hey, if you are listening over on a podcast to Teach Better Talk, we would love a 5-star review. The comments are always so entertaining. We'll see you tomorrow.